Hi guys, it's Kaz here, and today I'm doing the last book haul of last year. I didn't do one in November because I only picked up 2 books. I'm going to talk about them as well, but mostly these are books I got for Christmas. And yes, lots of exciting things, so let's just jump straight in. So first of all, the 2 that I got in November. First of all, I picked up 16 Souls by Rosie Talbot. This is some sort of spooky YA. There's ghosts. It's gay stuff. I just saw this on Amazon. It had been reduced a lot, so I thought it was a couple of quid for brand new, so I thought, hey, I'll give that a go. Why not? So hopefully it's good. I feel like the end of this year I've been getting into like horror, thriller, spooky, like supernatural stuff a little bit more, so yes, this adds to that fact. And then the other book that I picked up in November was this one, Endurance Shackleton's Incredible Voyage to the Antarctic by Alfred Lansing. I found this in a charity shop for £1.99, so obviously I couldn't just leave it there. It's a polar book. It's about Shackleton. I didn't own it, so now I do. £1.99, yes please. And yeah, it's got pictures and words and stuff. So yeah, polar non-fiction. Could it be any more on brand? So now the rest of these books were in December, and I think all of them are Christmassy. I don't think I got any of these. Oh, I've got an ARC in there as well. So yeah, let's just dive in. So I Hear the Sunspot, Volume 2, Theory of Happiness by Yuki Firmino. I read the first one a little while ago, I think maybe last year. And this is the second one. It's really annoying though because it doesn't say anywhere. And all of them have different names, so I have to go on Goodreads to figure out. Well, this one is definitely number 2. And it's just like a slice of life manga about these guys that are at university or school, and one of them's got like a hearing disability. It's called a hearing disability in here. It doesn't say anything like more than that. And yeah, it's just a slice of life about them too. And yeah, I mean, I'll show you the artwork, but it's just manga, innit? It looks like manga. Here you go, look, it looks like manga. Imagine that. So yeah, I'm sure this is going to be really cute, but really fast read. Next up, I have The Amazing Eddie Eckhart, also Volume 2. This is The Big Trip by Rosie Jones. I read the first one last year. Really enjoyed it. It's just this nice fun middle grade. It's about a girl who has cerebral palsy, because Rosie Jones does, and it also has elements of like sexuality in here. One of her teachers is pregnant and she has a wife, and then at the end of the first book there's like Eddie Eckhart is thinking about her feelings. She thought she wanted a boyfriend all the way through, but like, does she like this girl that's her friend? And yeah, it's just a fun middle grade about her just doing stuff that you do when you're a school age kid and also have cerebral palsy. Again, I'm sure this is going to be a really fast but really good read. Next up, I have All the Crooked Saints by Maggie Stiefvater. This is a standalone, and honestly I don't know anything about it. It's one of the Maggie Stiefvater books that never really jumped out at me, but then I read all of her books and enjoy them so much I was like, why wouldn't I read that book? So put it on my wish list, and here it is. It exists. And yeah, I'm looking forward to reading it because I love Maggie Stiefvater's writing. I just love the way she writes, just as an author, so I don't even care about what it's about. I'm sure I'll enjoy it, hopefully, fingers crossed. It's definitely going to be fantasy though. It's Maggie Stiefvater, isn't it? Stuff happens, probably. Next up, I have Destination Unknown by Bill Konigsberg. This is contemporary, gay contemporary. I have not read a Bill Konigsberg for a while. I don't think he releases that many books, but I've really enjoyed his past works. He did Openly Straight and Honestly Ben, and what was the other one called? It's right here. The Music of What Happens, Out of the Pocket, all that. I really enjoyed them. This one is set in the 80s, I believe, and it's all around like the AIDS epidemic, so I feel like it's probably going to be quite emotional, and we shall see. I'm sure it's great. I've really enjoyed all of his other books, so yes. Next up, I have Out of Character by Jenna Miller. This is an ARC. The book comes out in February, so you would have seen this on my TBR for this month. And this is about a girl who plays on an online game, you know, online, what's the word? Role-playing. I don't know why I forgot that. Online role-playing game, and she's big in that game but doesn't talk about it in real life, so like her family and her girlfriend and school is kind of getting pushed to the wayside. And then it seems that she starts having feelings for one of her online friends, so there's like all them feelings muddled up. Her schoolwork's going to pot because she's not doing it. So yeah, we shall see what this is all about. I thought it sounded interesting, and it's a fat main character. You don't see that very often. You do see it more nowadays, but not as much. So yes, hopefully it's a good book. About halfway through, so let's just nip on over to a message from one of the spawns, and then I shall be back with the rest of the books. She gets more comfort out the pillows than I do. So next up I have Horror Store by Grady Hendrix, and this is one that I've been really intrigued about for a really long time, and I finally own it, so fingers crossed I enjoy it. It's a horror story that's set in like an IKEA-esque place, so I feel like it's going to be really interesting and different and weird and hopefully good. It's literally all I know though. I think it's like ghosts, but in IKEA. That's all I know, but I'm very intrigued. All of the thanks in the world goes to Kat from Reason Reviews, because she's the one that sent me this, and I'm, yes, very looking forward to it. And now the rest of these are all graphic novel, comic type things, which I'm very happy about because I do really enjoy them. They're also quite expensive, so I do like getting them as presents. So first of all, we have Check Please Volume 2, Sticks and Stones by Ngozi Kazu. This is the second and final volume of the Check Please webcomic that was then not a webcomic because it exists in real life. And this is just a slice of life about this hockey team and the main character Bitty, who is very small and he likes to bake, and then he got on the hockey team and it's just them existing, and it's really good and I really enjoy it. And I've not read this half, even though it is free online, you can find it online. I never actually finished it online, so I don't know what's going to happen in this bit, but I'm very looking forward to finding out. And this is the sort of artwork we have in here. Next up I have Demon in the Wood by Lee Bardugo and Danny Pendergast. This is the sort of prequel to all the Grishaverse, because it's about the Darkling when he was younger, when he was a teenager, and then stuff that happens and things. And yeah, hopefully it's really good. I'm not in love with the Darkling like a lot of people are, but I'm very intrigued to see what's going to happen here and what happened and all that jazz. And it's really, really pretty as well. And then this is what it looks like underneath. Ooh, pretty. And then this is what it looks like underneath again in a different way. Ooh. And then here's the artwork, because I always like to show the artwork so you know what you're getting into. This one was also a gift from one of my fellow booktubers, Katie from Introverted Reader, so obviously go and check them out, as well as Kat from earlier. Both will be linked down there. Next I have Nailbiter Volume 5, Bound by Blood by Williamson Henderson, Gzowski and Hill. This is a series that I've been really enjoying. If you've been here for even a little while, you'll know that I've been reading this recently. It's about a town where loads of serial killers come from. I feel like I've explained this like 400 times recently. But yeah, it's really good and it's really interesting. There's loads of mystery and intrigue and weird stuff happening. It's really gruesome and bloody as well, hence why all of the titles have got the word blood in it. But yeah, really looking forward to getting to Volume 5. I'll try not to spoil you by showing you the artwork, but I've got to show you something, haven't I? Here you go. This is the sort of artwork we have in here. Next up I have Rat Queens Volume 4, High Fantasies. This is a really fun fantasy series about these bunch of characters. They're all different races, like a human, whatever they are called, I forgot. Halflings. She's not called a halfling, but something like that. And dwarf and a magic, all that jazz. And then it's just them getting into hijinks and doing stuff and having fun, and it's really good. Adult as well, because there's like swearing and sexual stuff in there as well, but it's really good and I really enjoy it. And here we have the artwork in here. Next up I have Fence Volume 5, which is called Rise by C.S. Pacat, Joanna the Mad and Joanna LaFontaine. I just realised I didn't actually say the names on Rat Queens, but you saw it, it's fine. This one I've been waiting for so long, because I feel like, I don't know if that's actually said, but there was some sort of hiatus, or they stopped doing it, or they decided against it, but it felt like there was a big old gap between Volume 4 and me thinking that Fence just wasn't going to continue, even though the story clearly wasn't finished. But then this one just turned up randomly, and then it's out, and then yeah, I'm really glad. I've already read this, I'll tell you about it in my wrap up. But this again is a slice of life, but fencing. We've had hockey, this one's fencing. It's just a bunch of people fencing, and that's it. And that's the story, but it's about the characters and them interacting with each other, of course, and fencing. The artwork's really fun as well. And yeah, I'm just really glad that they carried on the series, because like I said, I don't know if it was like cancelled, or if they just had a hiatus because COVID, or if they just didn't have the money to continue. I don't know what happened, but I'm so glad that this came out, and I really hope that more comes out, because the story is not over. It's fine, it's barely even begun, realistically. Next I have the Backstages Volume 1 by James Tynan the Fourth, Rian Singh and Walter Baimonte. Probably none of them are pronounced like that, but this one I've also read. I'll talk about it in my wrap up, don't worry. But yes, this is a story about the backstage team at a theatre at a school, but like weird wonderful things happen and they can go magical places and weird stuff ensues, and it was really good. Obviously I'll talk about it more in the wrap up. But yeah, I honestly didn't know anything about this realistically. I didn't know all the magical stuff going into it, so it was a really fun time for me. But the characters are great and the story's fun, and here's the artwork. And then finally, last but definitely not least, I have Saga Volume 10, which is by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. Oh my days. When I tell you, right, I read the compendium of Saga, I got it, and then I waited like a year, and then I read it, and as I was reading it, I was like, oh, it's really cool because I've waited for ages, so I'm going to have loads to catch up on. And then I finished it, and then I found out it was on hiatus for like 2 years, and then I was sad. But now finally it's come back, so I'm really excited to carry on. I love Saga, it's definitely worth the hype, people hype it, and I understand why. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this. I feel like I might reread the last volume of this one just to have it like all fresh in the mind before I read this one, but I'm very much looking forward to it, and it feels quite thick as well, which I like. Lots of story. But yeah, Saga is a series about these two characters that come from warring nations, and then they get together and they have a baby, and then everyone wants to kill them. It's like Romeo and Juliet in space, but not, because it's way better, and like they don't like kill each other and that and want to die and stuff. But yeah, it's really good. But talking about killing and dying, I really enjoy this series because they don't, you know, they're not afraid to kill off some peeps, and you never expect it. So yes, really good, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I'll probably read it in January because I really want to get to it. So there we go, those were all of the books I got in December and November, realistically. So honestly, there are so many books here and graphic novels and comics and stuff that I'm so excited to get to, and I'll probably be reading most, if not all of these in the very near future because I'm so excited. So yeah, let me know down below what you got for Christmas, if you got any books, or if you read any of these. Which ones should I go for first? Which ones are you like, yes, that's a brilliant book / comic? Let me know down below. And then yeah, if this is your first video by me, maybe you want to check out more. I very recently, I filmed it like just before this, but I very recently put out my TBR for January, so check that out if you want, and there'll be a lot coming because we've got all the end of the year stuff, which is the fun stuff, and the beginning of the year stuff, which is also the fun stuff. So maybe subscribe, there's going to be a lot of content coming out, so if you're interested, there, probably subscribe, I think it's there. So yeah, bye.